Case File 587. Roanoke Island, North Carolina. August 1590. 115 settlers. 0 survivors. One word. Welcome to Shadow File. In 1587, England was attempting to establish its first permanent settlement in the New World. The location chosen was Roanoke Island, off the coast of what is now North Carolina. The expedition was led by a man named John White. He was an artist, a governor, and a grandfather. He brought with him 115 settlers, men, women, and children. His own daughter and his newborn granddaughter, Virginia Dare, were among them. Virginia Dare was the first English child born in the Americas. Her birth was celebrated as a symbol of hope. But hope quickly turned into trouble. The colony was underprepared. Food was scarce. Relations with the local Native American tribes were unstable. Within weeks, John White made a difficult decision. He would sail back to England to bring more supplies and reinforcements. He expected to return within a few months. He did not know that England was about to enter one of its darkest chapters. The Spanish Armada attacked England. Every available ship was needed for war. John White was trapped. He could not return to his colony. Not for months. Not for years. 3 long years passed. In August 1590, John White finally returned to Roanoke. He was 55 years old. He had not seen his daughter or granddaughter in 3 years. He was desperate to know if they were still alive. His ship arrived off the coast at night. In the distance, he saw a light on the island. He believed it was a signal from the colonists. He called out. He fired a cannon. He waited for a response. There was no response. Only silence. Only the sound of waves and wind. When morning came, White and his men landed on the island. They walked toward the settlement, and what they found was impossible. The colony was empty. Not destroyed. Not burned. Not attacked. Just empty. The houses were dismantled. Personal belongings were gone. Some heavy items, like cannons and armor, were still there. But every person, every man, woman, and child had disappeared. There were no bodies, no signs of struggle, no graves. As White searched the empty settlement, he found something strange. Carved into the trunk of a tree, a single word. 7 letters. No puntuación. No explanation. The word was CROATOAN. CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island. It was also the name of a friendly Native American tribe that lived in the region. To John White, this seemed like a message. Perhaps the colonists had moved. Perhaps they had gone to live with the CROATOANs. Before leaving 3 years earlier, White had made an agreement with the colonists. If they ever had to move, they would carve their destination on a tree. And if they moved because of danger, they would carve a Maltese cross next to the name. White searched the tree. There was no cross, no sign of distress, only the word CROATOAN. This meant, according to their agreement, that the colonists had left peacefully. They were not attacked. They chose to leave. White immediately wanted to sail to CROATOAN Island to find them. But a violent storm was approaching. His ship was damaged. His crew refused to stay any longer. They had to return to England. John White never made it back to America. He tried for years. He begged for ships. He wrote letters. He spent his fortune. But no expedition ever returned to search for his family. He died in England in 1593, never knowing what happened to his daughter, never knowing if his granddaughter Virginia Dare had survived to become a woman. For over 400 years, no one has known for certain what happened to the Lost Colony of Roanoke. Over the centuries, historians and archaeologists have proposed many explanations. The first theory is the most peaceful. The colonists integrated with the CROATOAN tribe. They intermarried. Their descendants became part of Native American communities that were later discovered in the region. In the 1800s, English explorers reported meeting Native Americans in North Carolina with gray eyes, light hair, and European features. Some spoke words that sounded like English. This theory suggests the colony did not die. It transformed. The second theory is more violent. The colonists were attacked and killed by a hostile Native American tribe. Their bodies were removed to hide the evidence. The word CROATOAN was carved as a false clue to mislead searchers. There is no direct evidence for this theory, but at the time, tensions between European settlers and some Native American groups were rising rapidly. The third theory blamed starvation and disease. The colonists could not sustain themselves. They tried to travel inland or to another island. They died along the way. No one ever found their remains because the wilderness swallowed them. In recent decades, archaeologists have found small clues. Fragments of European pottery on Hatteras Island. Signs of English tools in native settlements. Even a mysterious map with hidden ink revealing a possible relocation site. But none of these discoveries have provided a definitive answer. Over 4 centuries have passed since John White walked into that empty settlement. In that time, the world has changed completely. Empires have risen and fallen. Continents have been mapped. Technology has advanced beyond imagination. And yet, the fate of 115 ordinary people from 1587 remains unknown. Not because we lack evidence, but because history sometimes leaves questions that time cannot answer. One word carved into a tree, 7 letters that survived 4 centuries, and a mystery that refuses to end. Case file 587. Roanoke Colony. 115 people vanished. This file remains open. Because some cases don't end with answers. They end with a single word. See you in the next file.